NSFW warning, not for everyone. Is eating ass dangerous? What happens to you when you eat someone's ass? Hey there, curious minds. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that might make some of you squirm in your seats. Yes, we're delving into the controversial and often taboo realm of, well, you read the title. But before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Trust us, they'll thank you later. Analingus, commonly known as rimming or eating ass, involves oral stimulation of the anus. It's a practice that, while often considered taboo, has gained increasing visibility and acceptance in discussions about sexual health and pleasure. However, it's essential to address both the potential risks and rewards associated with this activity. The appeal of analingus. Before diving into the potential dangers, it's important to understand why people engage in analingus. The anus is an erogenous zone packed with nerve endings, making it highly sensitive to touch. For many, this can be a source of immense pleasure. Additionally, the act of rimming can enhance intimacy between partners, breaking down taboos and fostering a sense of closeness and trust. The combination of novelty, the breaking of sexual norms, and the physical sensation makes analingus appealing to many individuals. Potential risks of analingus. Despite the pleasurable aspects, there are significant health risks associated with analingus if not practiced safely. These risks include the transmission of infections and exposure to bacteria that are typically confined to the digestive tract. Bacterial infections. The primary concern with analingus is the potential for bacterial infections. The anus harbors a variety of bacteria, including E. coli, which can cause gastrointestinal distress if ingested. Symptoms can include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. In severe cases, it could lead to more serious infections like bacterial gastroenteritis. Sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Engaging in analingus can increase the risk of transmitting STIs such as herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and human papillomavirus, HPV. The mucous membranes in the mouth can absorb these infections easily, and the presence of cuts or sores in the mouth or on the anus can facilitate transmission. Hepatitis A and B. Hepatitis A and B can be transmitted through analingus, particularly if the person performing the act comes into contact with fecal matter. Hepatitis A is a viral infection that affects the liver and can cause symptoms such as jaundice, fatigue, abdominal pain, and nausea. Hepatitis B is more serious and can lead to chronic liver disease. Parasitic infections. Parasites like Giardia and Cryptosporidium can also be transmitted through oral contact with the anus. These parasites can cause severe gastrointestinal symptoms and require medical treatment. Fungal infections. Though less common, fungal infections such as candidiasis can be transmitted through analingus. This can result in oral thrush or other uncomfortable symptoms. Mitigating the risks. While these risks may sound daunting, there are several measures that can significantly reduce the potential dangers associated with analingus. Hygiene. Good hygiene is crucial. Both partners should thoroughly clean the anal area before engaging in analingus. Using mild soap and warm water can help minimize the presence of harmful bacteria and pathogens. Some people also use enemas to further clean the area, though this should be done with caution to avoid irritation. Barrier methods. Dental dams, which are thin, flexible pieces of latex or polyurethane, can act as a barrier between the mouth and the anus, reducing the risk of infection transmission. They are effective in preventing contact with fecal matter and bodily fluids. Using flavored dental dams can make the experience more pleasant for the giver. Health screening. Regular health checkups and STI screenings for both partners can help ensure that any potential infections are detected and treated promptly. This practice not only helps protect against the transmission of infections, but also promotes overall sexual health. Vaccinations. Vaccinations can provide protection against certain infections. For instance, getting vaccinated against hepatitis A and B can significantly reduce the risk of contracting these viruses through analingus. Communication and consent. Open communication between partners about their health status, boundaries, and any discomfort can help ensure that both parties are comfortable and informed about the risks involved. Consent is paramount in any sexual activity, and both partners should feel safe and willing to engage in analingus. Avoiding certain foods. Some suggest avoiding heavy meals or foods that can cause digestive distress before engaging in analingus. This can help reduce the likelihood of unpleasant surprises during the act. Understanding the impact on health. Now that we've covered the risks and preventive measures, let's delve into what actually happens to the body when engaging in analingus. Sensory stimulation. For the recipient, the anus is rich in nerve endings, making it a highly sensitive area. The sensation of oral stimulation can be intensely pleasurable, often leading to heightened arousal and orgasm. For many, this type of stimulation can provide a different kind of sexual pleasure compared to other forms of sexual activity. Psychological effects. The act of analingus can be psychologically stimulating for both partners. It often involves a high degree of trust and intimacy, which can strengthen the emotional bond between partners. For some, the taboo nature of the act adds an element of excitement and novelty, enhancing the overall sexual experience. Physical health considerations. If practiced safely, analingus does not have long-term adverse health effects. However, if one engages in the practice without proper hygiene or barrier methods, the physical consequences can include the aforementioned infections and gastrointestinal issues. These health impacts are usually treatable with medical intervention, but prevention is always preferable. Boosting immune system. While engaging in safe sexual practices, including analingus, can have positive effects on mental health and stress reduction. It is crucial to balance these benefits with proper hygiene and health precautions to avoid compromising the immune system with infections. Intimacy and relationship building. Engaging in such intimate acts can foster a deeper connection and trust between partners. This level of vulnerability and shared pleasure can strengthen the emotional bonds and improve overall relationship satisfaction. Addressing common misconceptions. There are several misconceptions surrounding analingus that are worth addressing to provide a clear and accurate understanding of the practice. Analingus is inherently dangerous. While there are risks, the dangers associated with analingus are not insurmountable. With proper precautions such as hygiene, use of barriers, and regular health checkups, the risks can be minimized significantly. Only certain people enjoy analingus. People from all walks of life can enjoy analingus. Sexual preferences are highly individual and diverse, and what one person finds pleasurable, another may not. It's a matter of personal choice and comfort. Analingus is dirty. With proper hygiene practices, analingus can be as clean as any other sexual activity. The perception of it being dirty often stems from societal taboos rather than factual health concerns. Analingus always leads to infections. While the risk of infections exists, it is not a certainty. Many people engage in analingus without experiencing health issues, thanks to preventive measures and safe practices. It's only for those who are sexually adventurous. Analingus can be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of how they perceive their sexual adventurousness. It's about personal preference and mutual consent, not a specific type of sexual persona. The pleasure versus risk debate. The decision to engage in analingus ultimately boils down to a personal assessment of pleasure versus risk. For many, the pleasure derived from the act, both physical and emotional, outweighs the potential risks when proper precautions are taken. The physical pleasure can be significant due to the concentration of nerve endings in the anus, providing a unique sensation that other forms of sexual activity might not offer. Additionally, the psychological and emotional benefits, such as increased intimacy and breaking down sexual taboos, can enhance the overall sexual experience. On the other hand, the risks, while manageable, are real and should not be ignored. Understanding these risks and knowing how to mitigate them is crucial for anyone considering engaging in analingus. Personal stories and experiences. Hearing from those who engage in Analingus can provide insight into its appeal and how people manage the associated risks. Personal stories highlight the diversity of experiences and the common theme of increased intimacy and pleasure. One couple shared how incorporating Analingus into their sexual routine brought them closer together. They emphasized the importance of communication and hygiene, noting that these practices made the experience enjoyable and worry-free. Another individual described their journey of overcoming the initial taboo and discovering the heightened pleasure Analingus provided. They stressed the significance of trust and mutual consent in making the experience positive for both partners. Expert opinions. Sexual health experts and therapists often weigh in on the topic of Analingus, offering professional perspectives on safety and pleasure. Drive. Laura Berman, a sex therapist, notes that Analingus can be a deeply intimate act that enhances connection between partners. She advocates for education on proper hygiene and the use of barriers to mitigate risks. Drive. Ian Kerner, a sex counselor, emphasizes the role of communication and consent in any sexual activity. He advises couples to discuss their boundaries and health status openly to ensure a safe and satisfying experience. Final thoughts. Engaging in Analingus is a personal choice that should be made with a full understanding of the potential risks and rewards. It's essential to approach this practice with open communication, mutual consent, and a commitment to safety. And there you have it, folks. We've peeled back the layers, pun intended, on the question that's been on many minds: is eating S dangerous? While the risks are real, and it's definitely not for everyone. With proper communication, hygiene, and safety measures, it can be a pleasurable experience for some. But remember, always prioritize your health and well-being above all else. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stay curious.